Oh, it's echoier in here than I assumed it was going to be. Hello again, my friends. I hope that you're all well and taking care of yourselves. Please excuse the background right now. I'm currently in our new office and there's a lot going on in the background. I tidied up as best as I could, but there's a lot of stuff in here and we have like no shelves, so like, give me some credit. It's only a quick one from me this time round because I've not had the chance to set up the altar yet. So you will likely receive an altar video next time around where I show you how to set one of those up. But this time we're just going to be doing something really simple. I wanted to talk about some websites that I've used during my journey into becoming a tarot reader. Sites that I hope will support you along your journey. I am by no means a purist when it comes to tarot reading, as much as I deeply love books and reading. And most of my tarot learning happened on the internet. So over time I've acquired a number of resources that I would safely recommend to beginners and experts for referencing when tarot reading. I kept it simple this time. I'm only recommending 5 to begin with, and we might come back to this at a later date. So let's dive in. An absolute staple of the genre, Biddy Tarot is the place that you go to when you want to start to learn how to tarot read. They have both in-person and online courses, as well as a very accessible online guide to card meanings. Several physical guides too, but the online one is just as good. Bridget, the founder of Biddy Tarot, is very similar to me in that she wanted to make tarot accessible to everyone, because it should be accessible to everyone. And the site shows this with very easy navigation and legibility. One thing I will say is the site has gotten more focused on selling her products, which isn't a problem, get your bag, but that does mean that the online guides are under the Learn drop-down tab rather than front and center on the website. 4 out of 5 Snoopies. It's a really good one-stop shop, but it's still kind of just a storefront. Made by Lisa, a Reiki master and tarot reader, the tarot guide is just that, a guide on learning how to read tarot, as well as how to do some other psychically inclined things. And it's the primary guide that I use, other than my own one, for when I'm reading for others. The website itself is super easy to navigate and has very in-depth and thorough card meanings. The flashcards that are provided are also surprisingly useful when you're still learning those card meanings. It does have an incredibly Web 2.0 feel though, like those websites back in the day that would give you recipes for spells. You know, the ones that would like give you spells to like control the weather or like change your eye color or have your crush fall in love with you or something. Don't be fooled, the information is still good. It just has a very old school vibe. 5 out of 5 Snoopies. I love Web 2.0. Sereno. This website is named for the Welsh word for star or twinkle, which I thought was really cute. Okay, if I said that the tarot guide has a very old school feel, then Sereno is basically an ancient tomb. Sereno is primarily an astrology website, but it also has a tarot feature that I've not seen very commonly used on any tarot websites. It's not your usual card meanings and descriptions website. It's a random card generator for tarot. While I generally recommend to buy a tarot deck to practice with, or at least to start practicing with maybe a deck of playing cards, this is also a way to be able to practice your interpretations without having to invest in a deck right away. You simply go on the tarot tab on the website and select the spread that you want to pull for and click away. I will note that you do have to refresh the page before starting a new reading, otherwise it will just add to the cards that you had from your last reading to the next reading you choose to do, which did confuse me initially, but once you know that that's the case, it's really easy to work around. It's important to remember that Sereno is primarily an astrology website and the tarot aspect is a side function. This is not the place to be learning the concepts of tarot, but it is very good for getting some practice for the technique of tarot reading and interpreting meanings of tarot cards. It can also help you learn spreads and what kind of spreads that you like doing. 3 out of 5 Snoopies. It's not supposed to do that, but it's doing it pretty well anyway. I feel like I'm showing my age by just showing you all of these very, very old school looking websites. Now, Tarot Heritage, this blog has genuinely helped me so much in so much of my tarot research. but also just sent me in the right direction to find different references and understand the historical context of some of these tarot concepts. Tarot Heritage is a very concise blog that covers tarot history from its inception to present. It's also got like a whole series of posts on choosing a deck, historical or otherwise, and a guide going through the evolution of the major arcana. Cheryl E. Smith, who runs the blog, has collated so much information and so many references. Well enough that it's let me continue my own research very easily, which is, as you might see from some of the other stuff that I've researched in the New Age movement, it's not something that you come across very often. 5 out of 5 Snoopies. I love this website so much. The Tarot Forum. This forum is a wealth of information, both in terms of fact and in terms of general opinion around tarot. And tarotforum.net is old as butts, but it's incredibly useful for finding information on older decks. And information around decks, as well as for discussion around different tarot concepts, products, magical practice and history. So much history to be found on this site. This was one of the first websites that I started using when I started doing research on tarot in a historical sense. And while I would never consider it a primary source of information, because most of that information is from other people on the internet and not necessarily experts or the creators of the resources themselves, but it has definitely sent me in the right direction many times. Be warned, of course, that much of the information you will find on here is opinion and not necessarily fact. And while I think that is a very good thing to be able to see, especially for if you're looking for how people feel about something as opposed to what the reality of that thing is, or even just how other people do things, it may not be the best learning tool for someone that's just getting into the tarot craft. 3 out of 5 Snoopies. Good for the social, not necessarily good for the factual. Right, that is more than enough internet for one day. I hope that you all enjoyed and take a look at some of the websites that I've suggested in this video. I do use other websites than these, so I might do a follow-up video where I cover some of those ones. And if you have any websites that you absolutely swear by for the tarot and the spiritual side of things, then feel free to suggest them down below. And if you like what you see here, consider liking, subscribing, leaving a comment. If you would like a reading from me, I offer readings on Ko-fi and Etsy. Yes, I reopened my Etsy, don't at me. Which you can find in the description below. I will be back soon with another video, but until next time, stay blessed, my friend.